Hi, I'm Dan and welcome to the Airbrush Garage. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, thanks for coming back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to take a $35 thrift store guitar that's pretty beat up and take it to where you have something like this. I'm going to do it in a two-part video for you because the first part is going to be taking it from what I got from the store with all the nicks and dings in it and showing you how to repair all of that and getting it to the point where it's primered and sealed and ready for paint. Part two is going to be taking it the rest of the way to what you see here. So if that's something you're interested in, please stick around, consider subscribing, hit that bell so you get future notifications, a couple comments, good or bad, really helps out with the YouTube algorithm, it helps this channel grow. Don't forget to check out all my Amazon affiliate links down below and all my other links for the products I use in this video and all my other videos. And with that, let's get started. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a pair of wire cutters and get rid of these strings. We're going to start disassembling the whole guitar. Now you're going to want to take a little cup or something to keep all your parts in so you don't lose them all. And then you want to start knocking down the clear coat. I started off with something really aggressive here. I started off with 80 grit on the palm sander. Then I switched to 120 to get rid of some of the really deep scratches. Just want to make sure you keep blowing it off. We're not wet sanding here or anything. We're just using dry sandpaper. So a little air from the air compressor always helps. Now I got a sanding block. I got my 120 again. And I'm just running over it. Now, getting the contours is a little tough with the sanding block because that's more for leveling. So here's where I like to take some sandpaper and fold it up and just go at it with with my hand. As you're sanding, take note of all the areas you're going to want to fill in. Now you're going to want to use something to clean everything up with. I use mineral spirits here. It's kind of my go-to. I do have acetone, that works good as well. Alright, so now I'm going to be using Bondo or body filler. Now that just happens to be a brand name called Bondo, but you could use any body filler. I like automotive body filler just because it dries really hard. Now you're going to need a hardener that goes with that body filler. So the other thing too, you're going to want to make sure that's mixed up. That hardener, it likes to settle if it sits around, and if you turn it upside down and try to squeeze it out, you're going to get a lot of liquid. You want more of a paste. It takes very little hardener to activate the body filler. You're only going to want to squeeze out about a ½ inch strip on the amount of filler this size. And you want to mix it really well until it all turns the color of your hardener. The initial color of this was gray, and as you can see, it's kind of like, a red or a red oxide. So once you get a uniform color, go spot in your blems. You can see the gouges, how deep they are. And now this is going to shrink up on you. Body filler will shrink, so, lay it on a little heavier, or I like to lay it on a little heavier. You don't have to be real neat with it here. You're going to be sanding most of it off anyway. Now here's where you want to take the block and you want to level everything. Now here's where you don't want to take sandpaper just with your fingers, because you're never going to level something with sandpaper just in your fingers. So this is where the block really comes, in handy, or is very important. Whatever you're sanding, you want to keep underneath the block and just sand over and level it off. You can see I do circular motions, back and forth, an X pattern. Also works really well. Now, once I get all of that to where I'm pretty satisfied with it, I use a glazing putty here, where this is just for very, fine skim coats. It's really only good up to about 1/16 of an inch. You can probably get away with 1/8, but this is just for that, very little bit of blems where you see where your body filler shrunk up, and you just need a little bit of a glaze over it. All right, so all of the paints I'm going to be using on this guitar are going to be Createx paint. So I'm going to be using an Autoborn sealer by Createx. I'm going to be using a white because I'm going to be putting a white metallic coat over this base coat. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint this base coat on here. We're going to see where the guitar is at. We need to do, we're going to do a little sanding. We're going to see if there's anything we need to fill in yet, because of the condition of the guitar previously. And if there is, we'll give it another base coat, and then we'll put on the metallic white as our final base coat. All right, so before we go any further, I do want to mention that you should always use a screen or some kind of filter to mix your paint with. So what we're going to be doing is mixing this Autoborn sealer with 10% of the 4011 Createx reducer. Now this one here is a fine mesh screen. Now I know there's ones out there that are all different grams and this and that, but I just use a fine mesh screen. I find it works pretty much good for all of the paints that I use. So the paint cup that I'm going to be filling up, or the gun that I'm going to be using, I'll show you that in a minute, is a 3-ounce cup. So I don't want to go overboard here, and we're not going to need all that much to give this 2 coats of base coat with the sealer. I'm going to take it just a little bit more, and it's still draining. All right, so while that was straining out, I went over and got the gun that we're going to be using on this. It's got a 0.8 needle. Now, I know Createx recommends the 0.1 to 0.3 needle size for this, like as if it was a primer, and it is. But this gun here, I have some videos on this. I'll pop some links up above, or a link up above at least, for you guys to go check this gun out. I did a demonstration and a review on it. This throws a lot of paint, and I'm really impressed with it for a 0.8 needle. So I'm going to add some 4011 to this, just about 10%. You don't need much. But because I'm going through that 0.8 needle, I'm going to add a little bit. I'm going to mix this up, and I'll see you in a minute. All right, so I just want to briefly touch upon what I got here. As I got my water trap now attached to my gun. I got my air pressure gauge right here. I can regulate my air pressure right from here. And what I like to do is, you can do it with paint in the gun, because you got air first and then paint. But I want to be spraying it I'm going to spray it about 32 PSI. So you want to hit your air, because your air pressure is going to look higher on your gauge until you hit your air, and you want to make sure that that's where you're spraying at, or where you want to be spraying at. So I'm at 32, so I'm going to load my gun up here. This has been sitting for quite some time now, actually. This has been sitting for a good almost 15 to 20 minutes. Createx recommends when you put the 4011 in and you mix it up, to let it emulsify for about 10 minutes. So I know I've been sitting plenty enough time here. So I'm going to load that up with about 2.5 ounces. Like I said, this is a 3-ounce cup. All right, so off camera, I tacked off the guitar with a tack rag. As you just saw, I poured this straight into the cup. I didn't use a screen. If you feel more comfortable re-screening again, by all means go ahead, but I feel comfortable that I screened everything into this cup, so it should be good to go. So let's go hit the guitar and give it our first coat. All right, so now we're all ready to spray. Everything all set up. I did a little test pattern off to the side. As you can see, I got my exhaust fan. Also got a video on this. I'll pop a card above for you for that. That's a homemade exhaust fan. Works fantastic. Now, even though these are waterborne paints, you're gonna have a lot of overspray when you're spraying through a gun like this in 32 PSI and throwing a lot of paint like this. So I recommend totally an exhaust fan and a mask. So let's go. All right, there you go. Just the first, light coat. I just wanted to make sure, I went over a couple times, but I really consider it still the first coat just to get everything covered. And now, because the guitar wasn't in great shape and we did a lot of body work to it, you're really gonna see what's underneath it at this point. You're gonna see how you did on your body work. So you can see little blems or little things here and there where you're gonna wanna fill in yet. I'm gonna sand this down a little bit, do a little bit more filling, just till I get it exactly where I want it to be. And we're gonna keep base coating this, and I'm hoping to only do it one more time and be perfect. You're gonna keep repeating this process until you get it to look exactly the way you want to, because you have to remember, paint is not gonna hide anything underneath. So your paint job's only gonna look as good as what's underneath here. So we're gonna let this dry. We're gonna come back a little later, do a little bit more filling, a little bit of sanding, hopefully give it that second coat, we're good to go. And then we're ready for our base coat and our candy. See you in a few. Well, all right, there you have it. So that's how I take a beat up old guitar, fix it up, fill it in, prep it up, and get it ready for paint. So if you're interested in the next part to see how I put the base coat, the candy, and the flames on it, go check out part 2 of this video. I'll pop a link up above so you can get to it quickly. With that, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. You know the drill, a couple comments, check out those links. We'll see you in the next video.